one of the problems that I think the house church movement is experiencing, from what I've learned here in America, is that it's one thing to have a home church or a house church, a small group church, but if that group does not fellowship with other small groups in a larger body sense, they can become weird. Because no small group has all the gifts necessary to have a full, rounded, healthy body. And what's been very encouraging by what George has done is he's recognized that clear back at the beginning when he was just starting out, and kept it through the years, not only in Honduras but also with other ministries that he has mentored and helped them to start these kind of church planting movements, is that they have the small home group house settings, those support organizations of bodies of believers, and yet they're able to inspire those groups as they proliferate and grow to interact with each other and not see themselves as the one and only, but to see the need for interaction with each other. So what you end up with in a situation like that, as it multiplies and multiplies and multiplies, is a whole movement of people coming to Christ, starting simple churches, and yet networking with each other so that they continue to strengthen each other and build the whole body up. And I think that's what we see happening in the book of Acts.
Yes, I think so. I do. And this is not... George is recognized throughout evangelicalism as kind of the father of this approach across the world. And yet he's not alone. In fact, there's actually become a whole discipline that's built up around this church planting movements that have been studied extensively over the past 15 to 20 years. And what's fascinating to me is that it's not unique to specific cultures. It's showing up in not just third world countries, but second world countries, and even some first world countries. A book that I was reading, A Discipleship Re-Revolution, talking about the same kind of approach, documents it showing up among gypsies in France, among certain groups in Germany, among Muslim, as the principles of rapid discipleship and light baton handoff are implemented. We're seeing 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and more generations of churches being started, not over a long, extended period of time, but very rapidly, and the gospel making inroads through relational networks that, to be frank, I long to see here in the United States. We've often read the Great Commission as come to our church, get the gospel, when the Great Commission is go.
Right.
It's not make church members, it's make disciples. Right? And the forum this fall is geared to not add another burden to already heavily laden pastors. But what I hope it does is provide missionary leaders and pastors a workable means to empower laymen to be involved in making use of the relationships they have in their secular workplaces that put them in contact with sinners, to begin not saying you have to come to church to get right, but let's just go to a home. Let's talk about the story of Zacchaeus and what Jesus did for him. Let's talk about this story of a Samaritan woman at the well in very simple, non-churchy, non-theological, non-jargonish terms, and just explore that. And as people see themselves in the text, are open to Christ's invitation to surrender their lives to Him, repent of their sins, place their faith in Him, and begin following Him as their disciples, that we don't pull those people out of their relationships. We turn right around and say, now, we've got to share this good news with your friends.
Right, right.